available. I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Crownover, second by Mr. Harrington to approve the regular agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, all opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Under new business, Mr. Beecher.
Each year we have to approve the consolidated application. This is basically federal funds. Ms. Stacy Valley prepared this for us. Federal funds, you'll notice on the second sheet, you can read that small print, dropped significantly. You all have this page?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Dropped significantly. It's going to for the fiscal year 25. It's coming out starting July 1st. It looks like it's $2,043,744, and I think last year it was pushing 3.5 million, 3.4. So that is the anticipated reduction in federal monies that we've known is coming for some time. All of this has to be I'm not sure if it's allocated or spent. It's one or the other by September the 30th, but Ms. Stacy Valley has a plan on that. So, Tommy, all we need to do with this is just to approve it. We'll sign it. The board does have to approve it, but we recognize that we are receiving that amount in federal dollars this year.
So moved. Motion, Mr. McDaniel. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Walker. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Mr. Beecher.
On May 28th, which was the last Tuesday evening, the county budget committee met and voted 6-1 to reject the Board of Education budget. The budget committee, during their time that they met, and it was quite a lengthy meeting, talked about taking the growth in revenue for the 24-25 budget cycle. They seek to accomplish this by cutting property tax to the BOE, Board of Education school system, by $400,000 and raising projected revenue from local sales tax option to $5,400,000. The $400,000 adjustments comes from the projection that the local option sales tax will equal or exceed projections by that amount through the month of June. This will meet maintenance of effort. However, this also results in the Board of Education, the school system, receiving no growth for this upcoming school year. What the committee did by that 6-1 vote is they wanted to create their intention is to create a capital projects line within the county, the government, local government budget, of where that money will be set aside in the different departments, whether it's wastewater, highway, you name it, or education, could go before the county commission and ask for that money to be spent. So that's where we're at. The budget has been sent back to us, the bottom line. And we've got to address that. And I do have a couple of proposals. Tommy, unless you want to discuss that, you want to go ahead?
Proceed.
Well, first of all, the one that is out there is, of course, the budget committee, and I have talked to several of those members. Honestly, if I speak openly about it, I think they're committed to taking the growth this year. I came from talking to one of those budget committee members just a few minutes ago before the meeting started. So I came up with a couple of proposals. We're talking about $400,000 is what we're talking about. The first one is for the Board of Education to ask for property tax in Fund 141 to be set at $500,000 and the local sales tax option revenue budgeted at $5.3 million. This will allow the Board of Education to receive 1.26% growth potentially, based on this year's numbers. And let me comment about that for just a moment. We are steadily repairing our infrastructure. Westover roof will be done in about a week and a half, maybe, something to that effect. We've got
2 weeks to quit raining.
do what?
2 weeks as soon as it quits raining.
As soon as it quits raining. That's gonna be an over $400,000 project. We don't have a lot of money to play with, the way the budget is constituted. $100,000 is not a lot in the grand scheme of things when we have a $42 million budget. It's not going to break us. But losing our growth takes away flexibility. It does take away, potentially, for those emergency situations. Now, I know the county commission, the budget committee's pushback is come before us with that $400,000 we'd set aside. In this case, it'd be $300,000, and ask us for it for your capital outlays, or your capital projects, or special projects, and we'll do that. Why is it not a good year to cut growth? Well, we just passed next year's federal budget, $2,043,000, down at least $1.4 million from last year. We moved $1.5 million. We were able to use federal monies to a tune of about $1.5 million a year over the last 3 or 4 years since COVID on payroll. We had to absorb that this year, and we've had to make some cuts because of it this year. STEM, ISM, Innovative School Model Grant, has 2 years left on it. That's $4.8 million, of which we've already spent quite a bit of that, but it is funding personnel, it's funding a new drone program, just a lot of great things. Outdoor classrooms, we have a STEM bus, or STEAM bus, it's called now, that added the A in it for the art, that is going to roll out sometime in the early part of the school year. ISM's paying for that, but they're not going to be able to pay for it after 2 years. So if we have some growth, however, albeit maybe small this year, if we have some growth that we can put aside in anticipation going forward of the needs, that would be my recommendation, that we do that. The original budget, I know we're beyond that now because the budget committee has rejected the one we passed, but the original budget Megan had drawn up for us did have $600,000 property tax and $5.2 million as the local sales tax revenue budget.
She wants the first budget had $5 million. What we
My
approved
apologies,
for.
that might have been her recommendation. We did vote, the first vote, Tommy, you're absolutely right. On May 20th, we passed a budget that had $600,000, the one that was rejected, $600,000 in property tax, $5 million setting as the base. So anything brought in over $5 million was going to be growth for us. It's going to be about $5.4 million this year. So I know the expressed will of the budget committee to me, to those members I've talked to, is that they're in a tough year, and they're having to look at property tax. There's some real issues that they're facing, and they're looking to take our growth. What I would ask is we not give it all. We need some room. We need some growth in there. They are the local funding body. Talk with attorneys, TSBA attorneys, our local attorney for the school board. They are the local funding body, and y'all know that, and they can, as long as they meet maintenance of effort, they do not have to give us any of this year. They don't. And they may not, regardless of what we pass. But when you look at our needs and potential needs, and then to say we're going to cut our growth, kind of a hard pill to swallow just a little bit. It is, especially when you see the proposed property taxes increases and see how much the other departments are going to grow in the revenue that they're going to receive if that's passed. Now that's tough on the county commission. I'm glad I'm not in their shoes right now. That's tough on them to consider that. But I would hate to see education be cut when the other departments are receiving an infusion if they pass their budget of money. Okay, that's kind of my ramblings to say I'd like to see us hold on to some of our growth. this year, but
What is
also,
that dollar amount?
it's only $100,000 in this first
$100,000
proposal.
growth.
The other proposal, that I was asked about was, would be $200,000. There's $400,000 in projected growth. We split the difference, it's 200 apiece. We try to be good neighbors with them this year. It's, us taking 100 and them 300. But ultimately, Mr. Bobby, they get to decide that, not us. It's a request on our part. It's a determination on their part.
What's the will of the board?
Definitely wouldn't wanna give it all to them. So, just for what you said, emergencies.
At some point, this whole formula is going to need to be looked at, and of course, that's on the county commission to do that. At some point, they're going to.
What would they do? Do a resolution to, or what?
Megan, do you have thoughts on that, or anything you want to share?
Currently, you could look at the resolution for sales tax, the way it's currently being divvied out. That's something the commission could potentially look at.
You think that's probably antiquated due to how much growth there's been in sales tax over the last 3 or 4 years? That probably antiquated that they never looked to make those adjustments where they could have captured more growth already instead of going about it this direction.
I can't give you, something that happened in years past when I wasn't here. I can tell you going forward, there needs to be a solution for all parties, so all parties are, meet what needs to be met and are still allowed to function in the way they need to function. But I can't tell you, what's antiquated and what's not.
But you
We're
do
still
feel
operating
like,
on a county government system that's been in function for 20-something years.
but you do feel like that they need to make some adjustments there. Is that going to be your recommendation to them?
I haven't made up my mind, because right now, we have not zeroed out property tax either on the county government side. I can't tell you what would be best, but that's a decision we can definitely talk about in the future, this coming year, and get that worked out before next budget year.
My concern is to see a situation operationally where our funding is not increased a little bit each year when you have inflation, who knows what our manpower is, what our new technologies are going to look like that we might need. But in the grand scheme of things, John, for me personally, it's huge money, but in the budget portion, the 100,000 or the 400,000 in terms of how it impacts our budget is not detrimental. But I'd hate to see a trend where it'll be what?
You're setting a precedent.
Yeah, the trend, the precedent is what would concern me. We do spend in the Southwest Core one of the, not the lowest, but one of the lower amounts on per student. So we've been good stewards of the money over the years in terms of operations.
Right.
In terms of, not talking about reserves, not talking about stadiums and things like that, but in terms of operations, been really good stewards of the yearly budget. Yeah. And I'd hate to see a trend where there's not operational, a little bit of an operational bump each year. Now, if they set it up to where they give us that exact $8,099,000 each year and they find a way to do that, what we'll have to do is request money inside the budget, additional monies, for which they approve or not approve. We're not there this year. This is, the only way we'd be paying above the budgeted amount next year is if there's some growth above, on this particular case, 5.3. The other one, 5.2. And we're gonna bring in about 5.4 million this year. Megan, are we still on track from what you've seen, the trend, the 5.4?
So has the commission had any discussion of trying to take that growth for the 23-24 year, or are they just looking in the future?
Just in the future.
Their expressed will to me is pretty strong intention to do that this year. To take the growth for 24, 25 into the future. Just reporting back to you what they said in the budget meeting and what conversations I've had since then.
Well, by law, do they have to give us some growth every year?
No. All they have to do is meet maintenance of effort.
Huh?
All they have to do is meet maintenance of effort.
Well, they could stay at that way for 10 years and if we, I mean, you know, if we don't get a little growth.
Well, that's why in the process, that if you want to approach the idea of growth, you have to budget additional expenses and rationalize those things to their liking so that they're willing to grow maintenance of effort. And that's something we've not looked to do over the last few years because we got the growth money, so we didn't have that to worry about.
It would be nice to have 1.5% to 3% a year above maintenance of effort that doesn't get added to maintenance of effort, which is going to come somewhere between $120,000 and $250,000 off of the $8,000,099. There are some triggers to maintenance of effort changing. I was reading about that today, but Megan, unless you know them off the top of your head and want to weigh in on it, as far as the increase in maintenance of effort, if our enrollment increases, maybe enrollment increases is one way,
That's the biggest one.
and that's the biggest way. Yeah.
But it would have to increase pretty
Significantly. Yeah.
Because we're, currently, the county is currently funding quite a bit more than what's actually the required local match. So you have maintenance of effort, then you have required local match. The required local match is $5 million. I can't tell you exactly, but it's $5 million something, and it's under maintenance of effort.
So therefore, if there was a reduction, there would really not be an issue because it wouldn't more than likely meet any minimum.
We need a motion, Bill, of some kind, it doesn't matter which one. Motion second, and we'll discuss it for hours if you want to.
If we need to hire additional help, we don't have the money to do it.
Embedded in our payroll account, 141, yes, we had, within reason, and Megan, if I look to you because you know these numbers better than me, but in general purpose funds, in our payroll account, there would be money to make some adjustments.
There's a couple temporary positions, possibly, at most. I don't really know that it's that many. Within that, it would, a lot of it depend on, we're still finalizing several of the positions, trying to get that accounted for this year. So, can't tell you positively, but I think there's a couple, 2 different positions, which you're not gonna see that you're gonna need 10 new positions all of a sudden. It's not gonna happen. More than likely, you might need 2 to 3. That's my
I think the most we ever had to hire was 5. Well, 2 or 3, she's accurate. And that's just if you have people move in that puts, say, 5th graders at Westover, you don't meet the state teacher pupil ratio, then you gotta hire another teacher.
Which you also have to think about in turn, most of the time, the numbers would flow into the next year, I guess, for TISA formula, but you get so much per student, and that turns into a whole.
For the most part, Steve, we're fully staffed.
Yeah.
If we had to do anything, it might be 1 or 2 positions, we'd be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Figured so.
Yeah.
But we also kind of wasting our time, so whatever we say, they can go in there. Yeah.
See, that's the thing that
That's what, I mean, I'd asked a question of the director earlier in the week, I think he consulted with Megan. If they have control of how they fund us, whether there's between what portion of property and what portion sale, then why can't we just have a local tax amount, one account, and why does it have to be broken apart that way on our end, Megan? Can you tell us why? Or has it just always been that's what we do?
Well, I mean, you have to go by, we have to account for each revenue specifically. If it's considered property tax, it has to be broken out that way. It's not, I can't just say, lump everything together and say you get $8,099,600 in revenue. You have to break it out for the state.
back to your question though, Steve, it is true that they control and they can say, guys, we're taking the $400,000 this year. If they do that at 6 o'clock tonight, they send it right back to us. We have another 10 days, we have to meet again. And I think after the third time, the total commission votes on it, if I'm not mistaken.
The third time.
The third time, not after the third time. So, I mean, we're proposing within $100,000 of what they said they were going to do this year. So, whatever the will of the board is. I would like to see a little growth. I understand this year they take it, but the problem is, do we set that trend going forward that every year we've got a battle for a little money?
It wouldn't be a battle in 2 years from now. All the property tax will be gone.
At this current rate, what was it? We were at $22,500,000 in property tax a few years ago. Oh, excuse me. In the 22-23 budget, we were given $1.5 million in property tax. The current year we're in, $800,000. Their proposal is $400,000, and ours is $500,000. So we're trending down.
So next year it'll be zero.
Well, after next year, it'll be 2 budget cycles. The 2 budget cycles, under the current conditions, there won't be anywhere to pull it from, but sales tax period, because they'll get it again next year, which, I mean, we don't control that, but that's just.
However, I would be remiss, if I didn't say that in the transportation budget, there is $1.3 million of property tax.
It's gonna take a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's gonna continue to go up.
that's just a general purpose where we're headed right now. So to me, it's either we ask for some growth, or we say, okay, y'all send us a letter through the mayor that says this is what you're gonna do this year, and we go with that.
It's a will of the board. I'll make a motion for the 100,000.
And then we need to state it. So you're gonna go with the proposed budget we have in front of us, the 5.3 million sales tax and the 500,000 property tax.
It's the 100.
That's 100.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve the current budget we have in front of us, 5.3 million in sales tax and 500,000 in property tax. Do we have a second? I'm gonna ask one more time. Do we have a second? Motion fails without a second.
So, Mr. Chairman, do we consider other options?
The floor is open for discussion.
$200,000 split. $400,000 is would be where that all the growth from this year would be budgeted to go to next year. Yeah. If the question is, can we operate our schools at full capacity with the county commission taking the $400,000 growth as they've said they're going to do next year? Yes, we'll make adjustments. We'll make the schools run with the amount of money we're given. I still maintain I'd like to have a little growth. More as a trend, John, than that need for the money per se. Every department needs money. You walk through our schools and see what they plan. But we will survive the year.
Is the school budget not about half of the county budget? About half the county total budget?
It's far more than that, I believe. Megan?
Yeah, so the general purpose school is a little over 42 million, and then altogether, all funds, 141, 142, 143, 144, all of those are, I think, best I remember, they're around 50 to 55 million altogether.
Yes.
And in total, including the general fund of the county, solid waste, the drug fund, the highway department, debt service, rural debt service, all of those, it all amounts to, with the school system included, it's about 75 million. So they're about 20 to 25 million is county government.
That's total, county government.
Are we required to send them something back tonight? I mean, I'm asking, I don't know, Mr. Chairman, do we have to
Actually,
do
we have
something?
to by Friday. That's the 10-day moratorium, but I mean,
10 days to respond.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify, because I was unsure, thank you,
it's
sir.
10 days from the 28th, isn't that right?
That's the way I counted too, I was unsure.
So would that be counted as the third?
No, this is the second. We haven't submitted anything yet.
Right.
We've made one submission.
But if we don't submit
But we
anything
could
tonight,
send the same thing
does that
back.
count as a submission?
But we need a motion to that. I mean, we got to vote on it.
I think we'd,
Bob, you make
I
it.
think we'd have to vote to send the same budget back.
Okay.
No, same thing, the same.
We'll make that motion.
What motion are you making?
Rescind the same budget back to them.
How much money is that?
400,000.
$400,000.
Right now. We're talking about,
It was, 5 million sales tax and 600,000 in property tax.
With 200,000
With
going over
1.5
to
in
transportation.
transportation.
Yeah.
Got a motion, Mr. Terry? Trying to keep it straight.
I'll second.
A second by Mr. McDaniel. Any discussion? Any discussion?
So this 400,000, is it, you said it's going into a reserve account, it's not really going to help their budget, to do anything for their budget?
it actually is going to their, it's actually going to their budget.
Yeah.
It's actually going to,
$400,000 is going to
what they proposed the other night was they were going to put it in a special project, Megan,
It's gonna be put in a capital projects fund. It's a whole separate fund. It's not a line item, within a fund. It's its own, it's its own thing. It's like 141, 142, 143, 144. It would be, it's called 171 on the government capital projects,
And it'd be available to all departments, correct?
from my understanding, that's what the budget committee had requested, yes.
including schools too,
Department.
including schools too.
They're
We have to ask for it.
theoretically, we could go
They're
with
ready
this.
to.
I will say, y'all are familiar with the law. The budget committee said they wanted $400,000 from property tax and sales tax. They wanted that balanced out. That is what the budget committee is gonna do, from my understanding. They have not,
But the law says that we have to approve or reject the budget. All they can do is accept it or reject it. And they'll reject it, I'm quite sure, but they can't set a budget for it. I know, I got it in print from attorneys.
they can't do anything about the expenditures.
They can't set it, period. They can tell us the revenue, as long as they meet maintenance effort, and we have to approve that eventually.
So all you're doing is delaying all pay raises for any employees in the school system. You're delaying that. You are not allowing any type of maintenance to continue because you're gonna be stuck with a certain budget. I mean,
Go to continuing budget.
but from my understanding, they can set, the county commission has the authority to set the revenue. And more than likely, that's what they're gonna do with $400,000.
They do set the MOE. All they meet that, they do what they want.
I'd rather see us do 200,000, split it, but there's some of our own thought.
And that, well, we have a motion second on the floor right now. Is any further, we'll vote, and if you wanna make that motion, we'll proceed if that fails. And I agree with you. Is there any further discussion on the motion on the floor to send the original budget approved on the 28th back?
I am going to rescind my motion.
All right. Now the floor is open.
I'm not as smart as one in you, I don't know whether to do this or not, but I think we ought to be fair if we split it half and two.
Is that 5.2 million and 600,000? Is that split it? I'm
The
asking that
original
question.
would be 600,000.
5.2 and 1.3
And six.
in,
Transportation. 6 in property, 600,000 property tax.
General fund.
5.2, yeah, in general fund, 5.2
Sales tax,
sales tax projection, 1.3 in
property tax.
for transportation, yeah. That would be splitting that 400,000, yes, sir.
Is your motion, Mr. Crown?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion, Mr. Crown, second by Mr. Harrington. Do we want to discuss further? Any discussion? 1. No. 2. Aye. 3.
No.
4, yes. 5.
Yes.
6.
Yes.
7, he's absent. Motion carried. Next board meeting, unless we got to come back, will be July, the regularly scheduled board meeting will be July 11th. Unless we have to come back. Mr. Beecham, excuse me, gentlemen, Mr. Beecham, you have any closing comments? May I have your attention, please?
Just two real quick ones. Summer school is fully underway in 4 of our schools, some summer learning camps, a lot of good things going on. Sometimes we forget school goes on year round. And just kind of as an aside, I'm gonna throw this out there, as a point of comparison, 1955-56 school year, the total budget was $699,000. We've come a long way in that time frame. Could now be discussing upwards over $50 million. So, anyway, no, that's it, Chairman. I'm good.
Okay, we'll open the public comment section up. Anybody have any comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion, Mr. Walker. Second by Mr. Lewis to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. See y'all have a good day.